For the second time in his presidency, Donald Trump is poised to exercise one of a president's most consequential powers, and that is the nomination of a Supreme Court justice. Justice Anthony Kennedy will retire after serving 30 years on the highest court in the land. And we want to talk about it more this morning with attorney Byron Henry from Dallas. Byron, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
All right, this will be the biggest change in the U.S. Supreme Court in about a generation. Let's talk first about the possible choices for who could replace Justice Kennedy and how quickly we could see this nomination.
Well, as most people know, Donald Trump, before he was president and after, put out a list of potential nominees to the Supreme Court. It was a list of 25 individuals. Since then, a number of those individuals have been confirmed to federal judgeships already, including some with Democratic votes. So I would expect a few names such as Brett Kavanaugh, a circuit judge, Amy Coney Barrett, who used to be a law professor, a very young, up-and-coming new circuit court judge that was confirmed by a vote of 55 to 45 by the U.S. Senate. Our own Don Willett, who's now a judge on the Fifth Circuit, used to be a Texas Supreme Court justice. All of those people's names have been percolating and are on everyone's lips as this nomination goes through the process.
And let's talk a little bit more, Byron, about Justice Willett. What do you know about him, and how likely could his name emerge higher on this list?
Well, there's two things about Justice Willett that are unique for a judge. First of all, he has an unbelievably large following, or at least he did prior to him going on the federal bench when he was a Texas Supreme Court justice. Hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter. He's a very engaging individual, but also known for a libertarian streak. He's a conservative judge. He was a Republican. He ran for a Republican. As a Republican, he was appointed by a Republican governor here in Texas, but he's also very well liked by many people in the state of Texas, at least, on both sides of the aisle.
And real quickly, what does the court lose with the retirement of Justice Kennedy?
Well, first of all, stability. There's an old saying with the Supreme Court that is every justice that enters the court creates a new court. And of course, we have Justice Gorsuch, who just came on the court in 2017. He was a former clerk to Justice Kennedy. A lot of people think that moved Justice Kennedy to the right. In fact, Justice Kennedy has voted with the conservative bloc of justices in every case this term, and with the liberals, none. But it does lose that sense of a middle, the idea that there is a justice on the court, that you really don't know where he is on certain issues and could go either way. And the likelihood is that someone that President Trump appoints and is confirmed you will kind of know their constitutional philosophy and where they're going before the case comes out.
Yeah, it's interesting. Justice Kennedy said he wasn't the one who had the swing decision. It was the cases that swung. All right, Byron, thanks so much for coming in and give us your perspective. One other note for you about Justice Kennedy. President Ronald Reagan put him on the high court for his conservative credentials. Justice Kennedy turns 82 next month. He's the court's second oldest justice. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is 85.